Hello YouTube. So today I'm going to be working on ChurchCRM. I want to work on a few pull requests that I have going, as well as work on some integration and unit tests. I'm going to pretty much start right off. I recently re-imaged my desktop, so I don't have a whole lot of the prerequisites. The last video that I did was actually setting up some of those development prerequisites, but I think I realized I missed a few. So I'm going to update my scrolling text here. So I'm going to work on Selenium tests for ChurchCRM. Yeah, there we go. Cool, it updated. So first things first, I need to install Java. I do not have Java on this machine yet, so Java download, woo, Java 8.201. And I also need Selenium. Yes. And then I also need the Selenium jar file. I turned on comments on YouTube, and I expect them to show up in my video, but I haven't actually tried it yet. Test comment. Hey, it does show up. Cool. I wonder, how do I actually get a link for this? Go live. Stream info. There's one watching right now. If you're watching right now, go ahead and throw a test comment in there, or a real comment. I'm just curious. See how this works. Something new, right? How do I get the link to this video? Copy video URL. All right, so I downloaded Java. Gonna go through the install process. That's fine. And I'm also going to download Selenium, which is a single jar application. Selenium standalone server. And this will provide an interface for running browser automated tests locally here on my dev machine. I discovered yesterday that with the reinstallation of Windows that my audio drivers weren't quite correct. So my live stream was a single channel only in the left ear. Obviously not ideal, but I think that I have that fixed. And again, we're just waiting for Java installation here. I'm also going to fire up VS Code to my CRM workspace, because I want to also open up a Commander instance to that workspace. And I want to actually navigate into the tests directory. And I should have a composer.json in there, and I do. Last time I did this video recording, I installed Composer, which is a dependency manager. And I installed that system-wide, so now I have the ability to run these composer.json files and actually grab all of the prerequisites. And I did that for the actual application, but not for the test suite. So the test suite is a completely different set of prerequisites. There's things like Behat, Mink, Selenium, drivers, things like that, which allow us to write an automated test suite in PHP and then execute that against the Selenium instance. And I'm also going to start a new shell here. inside of my personal directory, and then navigate to downloads. And then I should be able to do java-jar Selenium server standalone. One of these days I will actually get a command for refresh env. Actually, you know what? I'm going to look it up right now. I saw somewhere that there's this like refresh env, which reloads your environment variables into your PowerShell session. But oh, it looks like it's part of Chocolatey. Okay. Well, that explains why it's not working. All right, I will just do it the old way and new up a PowerShell window, which should have the Java that I recently installed. Yes, it does. All right, downloads java-jar Selenium, and I will allow the firewall access on my private network. And I now have Selenium running in this PowerShell window, which I'm going to drop off the edge of the screen over here because I have no need for it in my live stream. And it looks like these tests have finished as well. Git branch. You know what? I have a branch. Ooh, I hope I backed that up. I have a branch somewhere for dealing with Selenium tests on Windows. It might be in another folder, or it could be in Git somewhere. There it is, testing Windows Selenium. So Git check out testing Windows Selenium. Git diff. I think these should be all of the same. Oh, it looks like there's a few more dependencies here. Also, what is VS Code doing here? It's parsing some files. Hopefully that's fine. And I'm just waiting for some dependencies to install here. Quite a few dependencies. VS Code has extensions for feature files. That's pretty cool. Cucumber. Okay. Huh. I don't know that I want that right now, but I might. Can I bookmark? I think no. Okay. Well, I'm going to close that out just because. All right, so I want to cd bhat, and I've got a bhat.yaml file there, so I should be able to go back up one directory to vendor bin bhat.bat, and if everything, no, it is not working. So something did not work. So I think inside of my testing directory, bhat.yaml. Do I have? Oh, you know what? XAMPP is not on, so I need that. Apache and MySQL are required to test this application. Alright, so that's there. Now, if I take a look at this, I've got Chrome. Uh, I think I recall somewhere there was a version conflict with Behat's invoking of Selenium, because if I look at my Selenium log here, it looks like the Firefox browser was requested despite I actually have Chrome selected in my requirements file. So somewhere I saw an issue, and I don't recall where that was. But I'm actually going to dig out the backup that I took of this branch before I wiped my computer, because I think that should give me what I need. Git branch. What do I have checked out right now? I'm on PHP fix strict warnings. Somewhere I should have a composer file with that context. Alright, so I've got my test director here. I'm going to paste that composer file in from the backup I took, because I think that there was a version change of one of the test dependencies. But I might also just be wrong on that. This is the wrong composer file. Tests. I'm going to try deleting. I just deleted the composer.lock file. That should allow the composer.json file to use whatever the latest version, latest compatible version online is for each of those dependencies. And we will see what that does. Really, I just want to get tests running locally on my dev machine here, so that I can ensure that I have things working properly. Nothing to install or update. So if I run that, and then I bring this window over here, I'm just getting a whole bunch of fails because it's requesting the Firefox browser despite... I wonder, maybe this changed? This is my backup. I don't know, does reflog persist? I suppose reflog would persist across a reimage of a machine as long as the Git directory stays intact. So testing Windows Selenium. So tests, add calendar, event, create tests, right? It's just requesting Firefox. Huh. You know what? Maybe I need... I wonder if I need something additional for Selenium. Because it's not... I'm not quite sure what this means. Info, capabilities are, browser name, right? Do I need to install Chrome driver? I might need to. Right, Selenium server. Chrome driver. What version of Chrome am I using? 72.03626. This guy. Alright, where's my download? What do I have to do to install this? Getting started with Chrome driver. I really just want to use it with Selenium. Is there anything on the Selenium page that tells me what I need to do here? Selenium client and WebDriver language bindings in order to create scripts. Okay, so that's not it. So what do I need to do in order to tell Selenium that I have Chrome driver available? Because I think that's what's going on here. Chrome driver download. Use the following to create the driver object. Huh. So if I just extract Chrome driver to the same directory as my selenium.jar, will that work? My machine's being a little bit slow right now with regard to extracting this file. Not quite sure why. It's kind of giving me a little bit of a fit here. Downloads. Please. Windows Explorer is not responding. Wonderful. This is a clean install of Windows 10 as well. No driver shenanigans. All right, no problem. We can just restart Explorer. Sure, thank you for that. Downloads. So I've got Selenium. I'm just trying this right in my downloads folder. I know there's probably a right place to put this, this being not it. However, all right, so I launched Selenium server. I want to launch bhat. That's really cool. So all I had to do was place that Chrome driver binary inside of the path where Selenium was able to find it. And that means that I now have automated tests running right out of Selenium from bhat using the feature files defined in the project repository. So, all right, I am satisfied that I have that working now. Don't need to finish it. All right, I'm going to move this Selenium PowerShell window out off to another screen where it's not visible. And I'm going to abort this test case. And I want to go back over to my open pull requests for the CRM project. I started this work on React to switch the calendar over to use React.js instead of jQuery. And one of the comments I was on here from George is a lot of changes. He wants me to break out the PHP code into a new PR so that it's easier to review. So what I'm going to do is kind of just isolate the code pertaining to the API and pretty much anything that affects the PHP implementation and switch that out to a new pull request so that he can review just those changes that affect the API. And I'll also split out the changes that affect the user interface and hopefully make the review process for this PR a little bit easier. So that is cd ... cd source React calendar React. Okay. So I'm on that branch. I probably could have just done that right from within VS Code, but I sometimes prefer the command line. All right, there's changes on menu that I don't want. There's changes in Composer that really it's just a date stamp. I don't want those either. And I want to figure out what the difference of this branch is from the head, but only the PHP files. Really, only the backend API code. How do I do this? I mean, this is going to be kind of challenging because the backend and the front end code is kind of coupled. It uses a clean API with defined types, but that API is, I think, mostly new, right? So if I go to see, I don't know if this API code will be compatible with the old calendar code. It's not really a good way to figure that out either. I guess I can do a file filter. So show me these guys, I guess. All right, well, package.json, that can pretty much stay as is. I think nothing in there really changes as far as the PHP model goes. This is all just necessary for React.js. Schema.xml. Okay, so group ID. All right, so I'm going to switch my local back to master. And I'm going to just kind of do a little bit of a skim through this, right? So we're replacing group ID with calendar ID. And I suspect that might have just been a typo in the initial object model. Oh, but this is going to be not fun to refactor. Because how am I going to identify every group ID that is incorrectly named? Cart empty to group. Yeah, this is not a fun refactor. I guess I could look for every calendar event object and follow that through. And see if any of them are used in a manner that would cause a group ID. Yeah, that should, I guess that should do it. So I think probably safe with that refactor, right? I mean, that's a pretty big one, changing the schema XML. But I'm going to start this branch, and we can kind of go from there, right? Get checkout B, and this is feature slash split 4716 PHP API. And I'm going to get checkout. Propel schema XML. That should, yes. All right, so that gives me that. Get changes to schema.xml. Since I changed, I have apparently not committed anything on this machine yet. That's not true. Why does it think that I haven't? There's no such Git file. Really? How do I set? Edit. Name is Charles Crossan. Email is all right, let's try that. Cool. Git log. Let me make sure it shows up there correctly. No typos or anything. Good. All right. So I've pulled out that API. That API. So I need to rerun the object relational mapper code after that change to the schema model, and that's good. Now, what else is in that pull request, right? Calendar.html is added. That's fine. Events middleware. I should be able to add this. Git checkout. I'm going to hit the up arrow here a few times, right? Source. Grab that file. I should be able to pull this event.php model. I've got that. All right, changes to the calendar routes. Get event. We're adding this middleware to get event and update event. That should be okay. We're adding some type safety here. We're removing this in favor of getting it from the attribute. Okay, so that should be fine. This change should be okay. This should be good. Just a few property changes here. Ooh. So that changed a little bit. I don't think I can pull this in. tightly coupled is that? I don't know that it's going to make a whole lot of sense for me to split this out. The changes in the PHP code are pretty minimal. Most of this is just JavaScript. I'm going to write back to George. Lots of changes. Can you break up PHP code? Is it easier to review? I think everything here is for the calendar. That's required. That's all required. Required. All right. Calendar HTML. What is this guy? That might not be required, right? This is supply a title. Yeah, I think I can pull that out. I'm just going to kind of undo all of that work I just did. Right, and then I think I can get rid of this calendar.html because that's a brand new file that I'm pretty sure has no effect. Yeah, so this was just a file that I was using to like do a proof of concept for the React application without actually logging into the CRM application. So I can ditch that. That's just dead weight. Events middleware, that's required. Event.php, that's required. This creates an array. This implements the middleware. This uses some better property names. Update event. This actually updates the event in the database from a posted JSON set. Calendar old JS. This I can probably clean up a lot. Yeah, what's in here? So if I go into skin, JavaScript, calendar, and calendar old. Why did I keep both? Goodbye, calendar old. Don't need you, I don't think. Right, it should be. No files found. Okay, yeah. Goodbye, calendar old. Now, calendar.js. This is where I should probably take a look. So move event modal. Okay, sure, whatever. Get event data from full calendar. Where are you used? I think this is no longer in use. I wish I could like search the diff. Ah, I can. All right, so this function's dead. Don't need it. Goodbye. Refresh all full calendar sources. I still need that. Delete calendar. Yeah, I need that. Calendar properties modal. I need that for now. Field error. Weird. Oh, yeah, I still need that. Where'd it go? There it is. New calendar modal. I still need that. Initialize calendar. Yep, still need all that. However, the show new event form will start the React application. So that's kind of cool, right? Get calendar filter element. Still need that. Full calendar source. I think I need that. Yeah, I do. Register calendar selection events. What does that do? Back there. Oh, it's like a setup script. Show all calendars. System. Filter settings. Calendar button. Alright. So I did a little bit of cleanup here. So remove dead code. Right? Don't need that thing. Don't need 2 functions in this file. Actually, no, I do need 1 function, but I can also add a comment here. And I don't need this entire file. Remove dead code. Goodbye. I'm going to push that up. While it's pushing, I need to log into GitHub. What is this? I thought I did this already. And I need my 2-factor authentication. GitHub 1. Okay. And now the code is pushed. Would you like code to appear on git fetch? Yeah, sure. Why not? While I'm in here, I should be able to... I'm going to duplicate my shell here. Yes. And cd documents, GitHub, CRM, tests. Vendor bin bhat.bat. Doesn't like that. I think there's really only one major difference in getting the test to work on Windows, and that's this bhat.yaml file. And because of that, I'm just going to check that out here locally, but I don't want to commit it yet because I'm not confident that that won't break the tests running on Travis CI, which is our CI platform. All right. I have a shell, but it is currently confused or frozen or otherwise not working. Not quite sure why. But I really only want to run this test suite for the calendar. Come on. It does not like me right now. Well, I can duplicate this and get another shell, and I can do it over there. Vendor bin bhat.bat, and I will do features / calendar. And this should just run through the test suite for just the calendar, not the entire application. And you can see that the Chrome instance that it's given me indicates that it is being controlled by automated testing software, which is kind of cool. I'm just running these locally to make sure that the code cleanup that I just did doesn't break anything, but it looks like it actually might have broken something. So I'm going to log in, test it out, right, calendar, boom. Save was not found anywhere in the context of the current page, so it looks like, oh. All right, well, let's figure that out, right? Inspect, console, there's probably something in here that's exactly the issue, right? So if I go back to this directory here, npm run build react. I never actually built the application, which is required. And I never actually installed the dependencies for React. I just kind of dove in and started deleting stuff, so that's pretty much not the way to do it. suspect I didn't actually break anything. I just don't have everything I need. How is my audio quality coming through on the YouTube live stream? It looks like I have a few people watching. I had an issue the last time I streamed where I had mono audio only in the left ear. I think I fixed that now, but I actually haven't listened to myself to confirm that. Just throw a comment in the chat if there's any issues. And again, we're just waiting for NPM to do its install thing here so that I can actually build the React application. NPM run build React. Michael, thank you very much for confirming the audio quality there. All right, so the React application built, I should be able to refresh this. Yes, and I can confirm that I get this nice little console message about React DevTools. And my React application actually loads, so test. Fill this out, I get a much improved date picker experience. I should be able to select one or more pinned calendars. Test, save. It did in fact work. So I'm gonna delete that event. All right, and then I'm going to rerun the automated test suite just to make sure that that does what it's supposed to. I suspect it will. I also noticed that I was watching the console output here, and there's a bunch of console.logs, so I'm going to clean those up as well. Generally don't like to leave those in any code that might go out to production. And that's going to be, I think that's all going to be inside of the code for the React components, right? So there's this new top-level directory for React, which gives us a nice declarative type-safe way to implement user interfaces using kind of a functional programming paradigm, you know, where you're reacting to events, hence the name of the library. You're reacting to events as they occur in the display object model, into the DOM. And we're re-rendering, conditionally re-rendering our display object model if the state of the application dictates it. So that type safety and that functional programming paradigm allows us to really split up each of those items in the UI into different components, into different interfaces, and I don't know, it just feels a whole lot cleaner than you know, jQuery selectors pointing everywhere on the page and trying to manage like what you're actually selecting for and waiting for events on and updating and what JavaScript objects you're going to serialize and pass back to the API. React does all that for you by managing the state as a single JSON object, or a few JSON objects if you want. And that's probably a massive oversimplification. All right, it looks like my tests ran. But I was coming back here to console.log, right? I probably did that inside of this guy. I did, right? So we're going to wipe those out. No console logs anywhere if we're going to merge the code to master. Find a folder. Probably would have been the best way to do it in the beginning. Where are we at? Console log. I didn't save the file, so VS Code was pulling the cached version. All right. I don't want to stage bhat YAML because that contains the Windows-specific stuff that I'm not quite ready to commit. I'm just kind of using it personally for now. All right. Clean up console.log entries before merging to master. I'm going to commit that. Nothing important there. I don't need to commit, so I can push those changes. Yep. All right, I'm going to close these guys. Do I have an active GitHub window open? I do, this guy, right? And I just want to refresh my pull request here and see how large of a pull request this really is, because I had, it was a little bit inflated last time because I had too many files changed, right? I had that old JavaScript file that was still lingering in there. So the remove dead code commit should have fixed that. So if I refresh this, plus 13,000 lines, minus 5,000, that still doesn't seem quite right. I know I didn't write that much. There's probably, I think it's probably this package.lock. And this might be a really good way to crash Chrome by expanding a massive, yeah it is, it's this file, 17,000 lines. I get to pay the Chrome penalty. Yeah, I don't actually want to see that diff side by side, so I think if I just refresh this page, it should cancel that diff. Nope, it's, are we good? I think, yeah. All right. Oh, Vagrant file. Node modules. Do I want that? I have not been testing in Vagrant lately. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be using a Vagrant environment, you're going to need those on the host, I think. Home Vagrant node modules. All right, that should be good. On my TypeScript files. I mentioned that TypeScript allows us to have a type-safe interface. This is the actual definition of the interface for an event, and this is what will be serialized and deserialized over the wire, so to speak, with HTTP posts and gets. But this also keeps us honest when we're designing the JavaScript for the user interface as well, so that we don't end up, trying to access a property that didn't previously exist but now does, and might have been null or undefined. They're different in JavaScript, and now we're suddenly setting them right with TypeScript. We know at code time, at design time, what properties we have available. So that's a very wonderful thing to have. The scripts thing. I really don't like. I even commented it. I really don't like the things that we have to do to make NPM work with this. I think I'm going to just get rid of that and Yeah, that's the right thing to do. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the change to the vagrant file because um, if you're developing React code for this, you just need to run it natively. There's way too many issues with synchronizing the node modules folder between a guest virtual machine and a host system. Just because of the pure number of files, at least from what I saw, the performance degradation was like ridiculous. So I'm going to revert the change to vagrant file and to that script file, right? syncreact.sh. Let's get rid of that. So I think what that was attempting to do, if I go back and look at that, right, is attempting to map into home vagrant host node modules, the node modules folder in the checked out application. So I think what that was an attempt to do was to provide a like oddly abstracted set of node modules into the host for development. That's just weird. I don't like it. I'm gonna not do that. Remove weird vagrant node modules sync stuff. Don't like it. Push and pull commits. Yeah, that's fine. So, oh, hey, look, we have a message. I've been assisting a few people with 500 errors showing up as API notification errors. Being too permissive. I think we might do well to amend the Wikidisc files are 644 and directories are 755. Can't hurt to document it. Alright, date picker, so I need that CSS here. I've got a div for my React application, loading it. And I've got my test suite. Oh, you know what? I missed one of the configurations for that weird vagrant nonsense. Bootstrap.sh. So I want to remove that also. That is inside of the vagrant directory. Bootstrap.sh. So this shenanigans. Is that it? Oh no, we've got to keep that. All right. Really? Oh, you know what? I think in the past for Vagrant, we... Okay. We purposely didn't map the node modules directory through to the host, just because it was so many files. I'm going to go back to doing that. And I should be able to just do git checkout master vagrant / bootstrap .sh. Should work. Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. Duh. Go back here. Boom. Alright. Don't save that, because if I come back here, I should see that, yeah, so that's undo change to vagrant bootstrap. Leave the node modules directory unsynced as it was. Boom. And again, my thought there is that if you're going to be developing for the React components, you just need to do it on a Windows machine. Don't use a virtual machine, because syncing that node modules folder is going to be ridiculous, and your IntelliSense and your ability to use the developer tools in your IDE is just going to be completely hampered. I'm pretty sure now that's about all that I can trim from this to have it still be a functional pull request. So I removed changes to the Vagrant file in the bootstrap process. I also removed dead code pertaining to the calendar and some debugging code. At this point, all code in this PR is required for functionality of the new calendar. I made a few changes to the names of the properties used in the JSON object representing an event. So I can't really. So I can't really separate out the PHP changes from the JavaScript changes. Without breaking anything. Also, there are updates. There's updates included here for the test suite, so that alright, add my comment there. Oh, and I'm out of sync with master, so I need to merge that in as well. Lots of changes. Probably not too many, just a few bug fixes, I'm sure. Alright. What were those changes from master? View the diff. Alright. I think that about wraps up what I wanted to do today. It was just address the comments on that pull request, get Selenium automated testing working on my Windows machine, and really that was it. A little bit over an hour of coding, and I am about ready to call it a night. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this informational, valuable, whatever. And until next time, thanks.